better game from Tatum overall. He doesn't deserve the brunt of all of it. Brown had a really rough
No.
one though,
Yeah.
as well. I mean, not as well. Brown was rough, and Tatum, and again, he saved their ass there when they
Absolutely.
were going really poorly, and he did get them back into the game. And that shot was falling, thankfully. So he had a couple of good stretches there where it was working. Just the fourth quarter, the whole team just collapsed. But Brown was pretty bad throughout. I mean, he had a couple of,
Yeah.
he had one little run there where he, got a little aggressive and was able to get to the hole, and score a couple of buckets, got an and one with his left. But for the most part, he was pretty out of sync the whole time. And again, the 5 turnovers, for a guy who does not get this is the problem, Sherrod. You talk about Tatum wasn't great and he was throwing the ball around. People are like, you got to run it through JB. Well, that's what happens. It's sometimes
Yeah.
where you give it to him and he's just kind of driving into swarms of people in a packed paint. And some of that stuff, he was losing that handle at the beginning of his moves, not like
Right.
after getting into
Right.
traffic. It was just flying out of his hand. It was just one of those, like, I got to go to summer camp and work on my dribble sort of games for Brown. And then
Mhm.
the two things you hate the most, when loose dribble right out of the bat when he's trying to make his move, or the dreaded, year one drive into the lane, take 2 steps, jump, have no idea what's going to happen next, and just whip
Right.
it out into the perimeter and hope that one of your guys is there. And those are brutally bad turnovers. So driving into nowhere sometimes, driving in too deep, getting caught. It wasn't just the turnovers. He was in a position where he had to take really tough shots. They kept talking on the broadcast. Every time they forced him left, some bad things would happen. It's
Mhm.
true. He was getting swallowed up down there.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He tends to go either too deep or not deep enough. Like he'll and when he's not going deep enough, he's just dribble, 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 which leads to a turnover. And if he gets too deep, it's a turnover. He's got to figure out how to be better, more efficient, less turnover prone. Like literally right now, when you look at Jaylen Brown's game, if you were to just kind of break it down into its basic elements, that's the one thing that's going to keep him from being a great player. He's a good player now. He's not going to ever get beyond where he's at now until he gets a better handle on his handle. That's
Yeah.
literally his biggest flaw right now. And we're seeing it on the biggest stage of all right now. And give Golden State credit. They have, without question, they've done a better job, I think, defensively as far as rotating, knowing when to double team, knowing when to blitz, knowing when to show. They're doing a lot of different things that is been really important to keeping the Celtics off balance. But at the end of the day, Jaylen Brown, you're 6'6", 6'7". When you get the switch with Clay or Steph, you can shoot over the top of those guys. They can't jump with you. And I would be much more comfortable with him getting those matchups and just trying to shoot over those guys than trying to beat them off the dribble and get a little bit closer, which allows Draymond Green, who I thought he didn't spend nearly as much time as that initial defender on Jaylen as we've seen in the last couple of games. And it worked out well. I mean, he still wound up fouling out, but his impact defensively was much greater, I thought, in this game than we've seen in the last couple. And they've activated Klay Thompson. He's officially in the party. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
And Wiggins, and again, we talked about it. You lost the Curry is bad game. That's bad.